Howdy, everybody. Good morning. Welcome, everyone. Hey, drifting down. Hey, Cooperator. Howdy. Okay. So, how has the evening and the day and the other things y'all been doing? Treating y'all? How have things been? Hopefully you've, hey, Top Hat, wow. It's been a hot minute. I think. Have you? You weren't in here yesterday. I don't remember when you were last in here, to be honest. It had to have been Monday, right? When shit was going sideways. That feels about right. So, I have not done a damn thing since yesterday. I feel bad, but, you know, not that bad. In addition to what I was originally thinking, so for like all of this, do I have fast place on? What the fuck? I keep like, I think it's this mouse. It keeps like double placing. It's very strange. But anyway, yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, the Taurus here. There we go. Yeah, the Taurus here. I want to, like, in addition to wrapping it in slabs and stairs to sort of smooth it out a bit, I'm trying to think of, like, what additional bits of decoration I can throw onto this sucker. Because it's come out pretty good, I would say. I'm just not, like, 100%. Also, maybe I should erase all of this junk. I don't know. Yeah, I'm of the opinion that something more needs to be happening. Because, like, the smoothing of this part of the Taurus is all well and good. This portion, not so much. I don't know. Give me your thoughts down below. Hello, as I see it, Nasir. Wow, thank you. I'm hoping that it's a wow-inducing build. Good morning. Apparently searching for brownie recipes was a mistake. I haven't been able to escape food ads since you woke up. Yeah, that's like being, you know, having a late-at-night food craving and being like, oh yeah, here's a Subway sandwich ad. Oh yeah, here's a, you know, here's a McDonald's ad. Here's a insert thing here that you like. Ad. Like, I was thinking of going to Wendy's after I woke up this morning, because I haven't been to Wendy's for breakfast in at least 3 years now. Since they started serving breakfast at Wendy's. Just because, like, I'm bored and I want something that I hadn't had in a while. And it's just like, I should have more self-control than that. And so I just didn't do it. And now I'm like, damn, I want Wendy's. Yeah, sometimes the downside of self-control is that you've tortured yourself, or you've doomed yourself to a soft form of torture for some unforeseeable amount of time. Okay, 1025. I'm gonna try that. Yeah. And then we'll just do regular glass. What? Oh. There we go. Okay. Let's see if that worked. It kinda did, but it didn't go out far enough. I want some sort of, like... Although, I do kind of like that it pierces through these fins here. I like the idea of an additional ring. Something or another going through here. And then maybe having like a second or a third ring just to sort of pierce through these fins at the top parts. So like higher than this level. Because this level is on par with like the road here. I do kind of like that actually. Then I can just chop this off here because this is the middle portion. Hey, Tudor Bear. Welcome. I was hunting the end last week. Okay, found a base too big in render distance, resembling Space Valk 3. Met the owner and got the grand tour. Really? Hey, wait a minute. Did you meet Universin or did you meet something else? Hey, Jack, maybe a smaller ring. Yeah, thinner? Well, that's what I was thinking. It would, go through here. You know him? Yeah, Universin's a mod on this channel. So that's who you... Okay, I know who you are, Tudor Bear. Interesting. Yeah, Universin's Kotos Station was inspired by Space Valk 3. So I know what you're referring to. Oh my god, where did... There it is. Speed mine. So that I can get rid of this stuff quicker. Yeah, I mean, you know... Shit like this doesn't build itself in a day. And Space Valk 3 like builds don't, you know, just grow on trees. Glad to see that you're friendly. Cool dude with never late. Good, good, good. Please do not. Hello, it's been a bit since you're able to catch streams. Has the oh, you love the Onion Dome? Yeah, that was for the spikes on the Taurus. That large Taurus is going to occupy this outermost ring section. This is kind of just a placeholder Taurus for now. Because obviously it's boring if it doesn't have any sort of decoration on it. And so yeah, this is what that is. More or less. And so yeah, you have to kind of have a vision, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, where were we? Teleport. Okay. Yeah, I'm thinking what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a secondary set of something here. And then I'm not going to keep this glass. I'm going to turn this into another material. I just wanted to keep a... Glass is a nice placeholder material, you know? It's transparent. Doesn't really alter the look of anything too much. Glass is a very neutral block. It's not absurdly, like, glossy like the old glass texture was. The old glass texture prior to the changes were... It was too much. Old glass was bad. Okay, so if 1025 puts it, like, right here... This should be, like, 1057? And then we, like, go up a few blocks, maybe? Go up, like, 4 or 5 blocks, 1057? Something like that. But yeah, Universin and I have collaborated for a long while now. Not to build that base in particular, just that, you know, we've had a long few years knowing each other and have basically we bounced ideas off one another quite a few times. He helped make Escape the Jackrooms 1. And then eventually, when we get around to building Escape the Jackrooms 2, he'll help with that. Hell yeah, that's almost like perfect. Like, that's literally maybe 2 blocks off diagonally. Like, I kind of want it here. It's 1057, so 1059, and then drop down like 2 blocks. Or maybe only 1 block. Yeah, 1059, drop down 1 block. Drop down 1 block. $10.59. Oh, that's wonderful. Like, it could stand to be maybe 1 block lower, but honestly, I think that's fine. And then maybe a third somewhere in the middle here. So that'd be like a block lower. No, it'd have to be higher so that it looks like it's a slope. Yeah, like one block higher. And then that was 1025, so this would have to be 1040 maybe? Yeah, 1040. Okay. So one block higher than the original position, 1040. Or no, 2 blocks. There we go. Ooh, Well, good enough, I'd say. Because, like, it just barely misses this outer set of fins. And so I was thinking of getting rid of this from this point onward, because there's no other fin for it to pierce through. So just, why not? And I might make these gold, just because, like, gold seems to be... Oh my god, I wish I had, like... I wish I had a gold stair and slab. I really do. That right there would go such a long way. Gold stairs, gold slabs, gold walls, please. Please, please. You like the old glass texture? Maybe use it as Stockholm... Maybe it's Stockholm Syndrome and you got used to it. Ha 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 ha, because Mojang is located in Stockholm, Sweden. And also, they held your mind hostage for years and years. Yeah, I get the joke. Told me it's a 6-month build so far. Well, it's a little older than that. He started it in earnest in 1.12, quit for a while, came back in the update 2 years ago, really got back on it in the last few months. But in total, I think maybe 6 months of work in total has gone into it. But that, for the most part, it's a little older than that. But only incidentally. Because, you know, if you sit on it for a while and you don't do anything because you don't feel like it, or you're busy with other things and can't immediately attend Minecraft on 2B2T, you know, I don't think that really counts necessarily. But that's just me. Okay, I'm liking how that's turning out. Like, even at a distance, you can still see the block clearly. Again, very neutral block, but it's still very, like, obvious what I'm going for. I'm thinking of doing a raw gold glowstone mix, which incidentally is like the same style of mix that I've used on all this gilding on the main body here. Some of this is gold block, but you know. So I'm just thinking. Raw gold glowstone. A looks really good, and B is extremely easy to mob proof, right? Because this is going to be an end base, so you know light levels are actually still very important. The interior is beautiful. Okay. Said he got burnt out. Yeah. We made Escape the Jack rooms. Oh, starting early last year. And that was more important. And it was more interesting. And so it really did a good amount for his burnout. But then life got in the way, and you know how it is. Okay. Gonna have to take a brush to that and get rid of it later. Okay, I'm liking this. I'm liking this. Brush, sphere. Okay, so we wanted it. I want it 25% glowstone, 75% raw gold, and then give it like a radius of 10. No, probably give it like a radius of 8. And then mask, regular old glass. I can just fly through it like this. And that doesn't affect anything in here. Perfect. I'm kind of tempted to make the rest of this, because like these gold blocks are really nice and all, but I don't know, I'm just kind of tempted to make it all raw gold and glowstone. And I know that's a pain in the ass because you cannot get raw gold except with like a dupe or mining a bunch. Suppose you could baritone for it. I don't know, this is a lot of raw gold. Oh, and speaking of gold, I've just noticed there are gaps, which I've been trying to avoid. Holes in my plans. I just subbed, nothing showed up. Oh, did I disable that? Yeah, no, Nick the Dev, your thing's at the very top. Sub member notification. Yeah, that's enabled. It may not have yet popped up, because sometimes there's a delay from Streamlabs. Yeah, like, there we go. Yeah, I'm watching it back on the replay. Yeah, if something popped up. No, you just didn't see it, Nick. Sorry. Thank you for the sub, Nick. I appreciate it. Now it did. Ad. Oh, I'm so sorry, Nick. You got an ad the moment you were hoping to find it. You're just gonna have to watch it back on the VOD. I'm so sorry. Ads. Has YouTube tried any more ad block nonsense in the last week? I've not heard much about that in a decent amount of time. And it's kind of worrisome whenever, you know, a company like YouTube, which took umbrage with you using an ad block for so long, and now they're just kind of like radio silent on it. I'm just wondering. Haven't had any issues. Okay, good. I'm just wondering, you know, are they doing something behind the scenes? Are they scheming? I mean, you know they are. Those types are always scheming. There is schemic. They are a-schemic. That's the joke. That's a medical pun for anyone interested. Okay. I mean, I could also turn this into gold blocks as well, and then just put pressure plates on the top, though that'd be annoying. I don't know. Yeah, I kind of like that. That looks better from like above, especially. Gives it just enough detail, I think. It isn't too extra. It isn't too overboard. Okay, I'm just gonna have to destroy that some other way. That's way too much. Alrighty then. Yeah, I'm kind of happy with that because that should reasonably be bright enough, although maybe not. Yeah. I think that's good. Damn it. I hate how the rotate function is just not perfect. But then again, what is? Okay, let me make sure there are no gaps between the... Yep. Between the fins and the stupid fucking torus that I've been working on. Ah, I see a gap. I didn't know you could use World Edit with the diamond sword. Yes, those are called brushes. You can take any item that's like a tool or something with right-click functionality. I believe you can do it with a pickaxe. Pretty sure. Okay. Yeah, and then you can just pop just like that. Goodbye. Yeah, I prefer using swords just because they look cool. But like any tool with right-click functionality should work for brushes with World Edit. World Edit brushes are so good and yet so painful because they can cause you unimaginable amounts of headache and heartache. But if you know how to use them right, they save you so much time and effort. And I suppose, theoretically, you could argue that you don't need the brushes. You can just, like, make do with the replace near command and then using the wand to select coordinates and stuff. I suppose you really could make that argument, and it isn't a bad one. Just that it's a matter of convenience, you know, because the brush is really kind of for that. It's for an at-a-distance editing. And obviously Axiom does that. Though Axiom forgoes the idea of a brush altogether and just kind of does its own thing. You can just kind of impose shapes and stuff into the world itself, which that's really fucking cool. But I do actually kind of like that with World Edit. You need to know how to make a shape. You can't just say, hey, generate me a cone. I mean, you can, but you still need to know and understand the formula. You need to know why a shape forms the way that it does so that you can make it not bad. There is an element of you got to know what you're doing. You've got to know what you're doing. And I kind of like that, even though obviously it can be a bit of a barrier to entry. Overall, you know, we live in a different sort of time. Why did that place twice? Oh my god, I'm just putting spare stairs everywhere. What I really wish I could have, and I know this is like borderline magic, so it's not even like remotely feasible. I wish I had a brush for World Edit that would just like paint directly into the world exactly the blocks and exactly the order and structure I'm thinking. So like I had a brush that I could just brush on here and it would put the stairs on the edges exactly the way that I want. But no such shortcut exists that I'm aware of. Rotate function stairs is an absolute nightmare, yeah. You have to look into brushes, okay. well, hey, if you learn how to make use of it, it can be a really valuable tool in your arsenal. Brushes, in my opinion, are some of the most advanced things you can do with World Edit. Masking, brushes, learning to use a mix of materials, and what's another like really advanced? Oh, and understanding rotation. Copy pasting with respect to your frame of reference, and then knowing how things rotate around that frame of reference. Damn it, place. Like, yeah, there are actually a surprisingly large amount of advanced things World Edit can do. And this is a program that's been around since like 2011. Like, this is dawn of Minecraft stuff. And maybe not every single feature has been in World Edit that it has, but like, a lot of this stuff is not new. The masking, the mix of materials, rotating, that shit's been around since at least 2012. Like, I'm genuinely not certain what sort of development goes on behind the scenes with World Edit, apart from just keeping it up to date, because obviously it's been up to date since it was released. But like, even then, you know, clearly they do a good job of, like, maybe they reached a point at some point where they were like, there's just nothing more we can add to World Edit. Like, every possible tool you could want is here. I mean, that's probably not entirely true, but, you know, it's like with Photoshop or Clip Studio Paint. Like, other than something AI-driven, realistically, what sort of new tool could you pluck out of the ether and implement that would be really, really, really useful? You know, that hasn't already been thought of. For something like Clip Studio Paint or Photoshop, like a really high-end image developer, or Blender even, that's an even greater example. Like, if you had the idea to, well, I want to see this feature happen in Blender, right? What feature? Like, what thing has not existed in Blender yet? I'm sure there are a handful of things that could be made, but like, without some sort of niche understanding of something that's lacking, you know, notwithstanding for, you know, AI generated something or other. Like, yeah, like what new tool or feature is lacking in a really high-end piece of art software, art development software? Like, what's a thing that doesn't exist that's a tool that'd be really useful? And I imagine even a veteran of something like Blender, Clip Studio Paint, Photoshop, etc. would have a tough time answering that question, because most things are kind of there. And so, like, for for Axiom, for World Edit, what is a tool that does not exist yet? I can't think of it. You love Clip Studio Paint? Oh, okay. I don't mess with that very often, but yeah. It's just one of those things where, like, realistically, most anything you can imagine has also already been imagined by someone else, right? Your ability to understand something is all well and good, but when it comes to developing new things, like something genuinely novel, that is a tall order. Genuinely novel things are, like, very rare nowadays. Like, one of the most newest, craziest, awesome things that I've heard of recently was using AI prediction after training it for a million billion years on protein folding sequences. Using AI prediction to take a protein, perfectly unfold it so that you know what it is that went into it, and then predict the DNA sequence that made said protein. Like, that's the level of crazy, novel, new I'm talking about. And it's just not something that you can do without a lot of research, development, you know, innovation, understanding, etc., etc. Like, so you use Clip Studio Paint Creator. What's a thing in Clip Studio Paint? Or sorry, what's a thing that's not in Clip Studio Paint that you would love to see in Clip Studio Paint? Like, what's a really good tool that's just non-existent? Can you even think of one? Like a feature you would love to see because it would be really, really valuable for, you know, XYZ reason. That's not AI driven. We're taking out AI for the simple reason that it's just so, it's too controversial. It's not like, it's a lot of AI is considered theft, even though in some cases it kind of isn't. But still, you know, AI is a very sort of murky road. Hello, Ashutosh, welcome. Your name is not something I'm used to reading, okay. I have no idea. I could probably find anything in the brush tool marketplace. Yeah, exactly. Like, give me a completely original, totally novel tool in Blender or Clip Studio Paint that is just, it doesn't exist. You know, make something up out of thin air and make sure that it is valuable, right? It can't just be an enshittificator tool that makes anything you're working on a million times worse. No, like, it would have to be totally unique and actually offer, you know, some kind of value. Even if it's niche, it would have to offer value. It'd have to do a thing that a tool already existing does not yet do. And that's really kind of like the crux of the modern world. So many things have already been invented. So how do you innovate on that, you know? Like, what do you do to make a thing that does not yet exist? What does a thing that does not yet exist look like? And yeah, like, it's not a question anyone can realistically answer anytime soon. The answer to that question lies beyond a lot of development and research in many cases. How do you swap blocks with one click? I am right-clicking and left-clicking at the same time. I'm in creative mode. So it's like that. That's how I swap blocks. It's just a left-click followed by a right-click instantaneously. It's a vanilla thing, so it's not even like a tool or something world that it's doing. It's a pure vanilla feature, I believe. But yeah, like, originality is in very short supply and in high demand. Yeah, I'm invest the thing that makes thing walk and talk type shit. Okay. Sure. Let me know when you have that so that I can steal it and sell it to the Chinese. Because I guarantee you that's what'll happen if you did actually develop that. Like, somebody would unironically steal it, reverse engineer it, whatever, sell it to the Chinese. Yeah, let me know so that I can patent theft. That's really nice of you to do all that work for me. Thanks. I love you, Azwap, or Ezerp. Thank you for giving me free money. I appreciate it. Are you going to watch the next Fit video? Is it out? I mean, is it any good? I'll watch it if it's good, but, like, if it's just another, I traveled down the XYZ highway because I can. If it's another one of those, I will pass. I don't believe I care. Oh, okay, thanks. Yeah. Hey, Diaz. Zero Diaz, welcome. And yeah, you're welcome, S-Man. Hopefully it helps you in your building. But yeah, giving ideas and taking ideas, you know, just is what it is. I mean, I can kind of see the use for a tool. And again, I did say, I stipulated no AI stuff. But, like, this sadly would have to be AI driven for it to be any good. What you would do is it would need to be trained on a ton of real life photographs. And it would need to be trained on light and dark maps for photographs. So you would need to take a photograph, show it in color to the AI, and then train it on where the light is coming from, how the light behaves. And then this tool would be a corrective learning tool for a beginner artist in something like Clip Studio Paint, Blender, etc. Well, maybe just Clip Studio Paint. I don't think it would care for Blender. And what it would do is it would teach a newer artist. It would correct. It would spot check your light. You would be like, okay, AI tool, this is where my light source is coming from. This is where these surfaces should receive light from. And the AI would correct you. It would be like, yeah, no, that's not how light works, Johnny. Light bends and bounces in this way. And, you got to get good. And so, yeah, you would train it rather on real life photographs so that it would have an understanding of how real life light bends and bounces. You could teach it how light refracts through like water, glass, etc. How light bends and bounces on metal. You could do a lot of shit like that and then tell it, okay, you are a corrective tool. You are not a shortcut, generate me a dolphin riding a seahorse into battle type bullshit. Like, no. You are a corrective tool to train artists on how light actually works. You're a spot check tool. Like, I could see that being really, really valuable. But again, AI. And that's a sore spot for a lot of people. And I get it. That's just kind of how it is. You're using Clippy as a profile pic so YouTube won't censor your comment. How badly has YouTube done that? Why Clippy? Why has Clippy suddenly become the mascot of Do Not Censor Me? That's so weird. Like, why is that the thing? Okay. I'm gonna do a gamer move and save myself some trouble. Clippy is the new current thing. Exactly, Neo. I thought so. Very sad. I too support the current thing. Beep, boop. Okay. Ooh, boy. Fuck, how I wish I had. Okay, replace stone. Did any of this get messed with? Doesn't look like it did. I kind of wish I had that World Edit CUI mod, but it's not compatible for 121.4. Even though it says it is, it keeps crashing on load up, so I'm just going to assume it's not reliable. Okay, so it seems like this selection is out of range of the rest of this, which is good, because I would like that to be the case. Okay, no errant pieces of stone, that works. Alright, replace polished deep slate with air. Replace polished deep slate. Stairs with air. Polished deep slate. Slabs with air. Cool. Get rid of the black stone and the gilded black stone and the gold blocks and the raw gold blocks and the light weighted pressure plates. There we go. So that it's just this ring of glowstone. Perfect. All right, neat. Just what the doctor ordered. Boop. I see that being very useful to learn how to draw. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's a corrective tool for people who are just not yet learned on how to best, you know, do light. There we go. Embedded lights in the floor. Perfection. YouTube used to remove about 75% of your comments. Really? It's recognized as AI. Interesting. Huh. You can already do that with ray tracing? Yeah, but it's a lot more complex. That's not very user-friendly for ray tracing. Admittedly, you're probably correct, but like, that's just one of those things where it's well beyond the average person's ability to use. And as a result, like, it's just not user-friendly enough to be a thing people would make use of. Uh-oh. Oh, goddammit. Undo. Undo. I didn't position myself right. Okay. I'm going to... Well, I don't know. Is it better to have the sides be dark and there's just light on the bottom and the top? I don't know. Like, there are a lot of spawnable spaces in these side areas. And I could slab it all off, but God, that's a nightmare. I would really rather just light it up, personally. I don't know. I kind of like the dark look, but I don't know. Yeah, it's not very user-friendly. Yeah, that's my point. Like, if you want people to make use of something, you have to make it usable for their level of understanding. And the majority of people are not smart. Not at all. It's sad, but it is the truth. And so if you're going to give somebody a tool, or if you're going to make a thing, and you want people to use it, you have to make it as dumb and entry-level usable as possible. Even if it can be phenomenally effective. God damn it. Okay, this did not pan out the way that I was hoping. Anyway, even if it's phenomenally effective at what it does and has a ton of versatility and all of that bullshit, you still need to make it simple. Keep it simple, stupid. The KISS principle. Before you continue about user-friendly, remember that Blender exists. Oh yeah, no, Blender is like a nightmare. I agree. But also, when I got into how to start doing Blender stuff, I basically, the first thing I gravitated toward was the sculpt screen. And I started making like really good stuff with sculpting. Admittedly, it was terrible, you know, in terms of like topology and stuff. But, you know, it was a great sort of learning experience, even though it wasn't great insofar as my actual skill. I had to actually look up some really decent... oh, god damn it. These just, like, get off center so quickly. Anyway, I had to look up some really good tutorials on how to not fuck up topology. Well, damn, this just doesn't work at all. Undo. Am I wrong in thinking this outermost line should have the same curvature as this? I mean, clearly it doesn't, so I'm wrong, but still. Anyway, yeah, Blender's user-friendliness does have a lot of problems. There's so much shit that you have to know and do just to make basic stuff happen. Like, the amount of obscure stuff I had to paw through just to get my very first model textured and to learn how to do texturing. Yowza, what a nightmare. But it was worth it because I wanted to know. I pushed myself to know how to do it. So it's not even like it was impossible. It was just not straightforward, and I wanted straightforward. I was so pissed that it was not as simple and easy as I wanted. But once I learned, it's just a few clicks away. So I get that. But yeah, like, I admit, maybe user-friendliness for very specialized programs isn't as mandatory. But still, like, generally speaking, making something easily accessible and user-friendly is a good thing. Shortcuts are your best friend. Yeah, exactly. User hostile. Hostile architecture. Meet your match. User hostile, yeah. I don't know of a wittier way to put it. Like, user-friendliness, user hostility. So I guess that means there's like a user-friendly version of architecture? I mean, I guess. I don't know. Architecture is really kind of just there, you know? You don't really see user-friendliness as an architectural feature. Things are either cool or they're not. Usable, safe, or they're not. There's not really much in between with that. Hostile architecture is the architecture and civil engineering building of a university. Yeah, hostile to the eyes. Yeah, that's actually a really good point. Hostile on the eye. Something genuinely ugly, like modern brutalist architecture, instead of artistic brutalist architecture. Like the liminal spaces you find in the pool rooms or something, in a backrooms type setting. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, God damn it. Can I see how Space Falcon is looking? Sure. So this long torus is sort of like a demo, or not a demo, but it's like the final product of what the whole torus will look like. The placeholder version of that torus is right here. So I'm gonna, you know, copy paste a bunch of times to overwrite this structure. And yeah, so this is Space Falcon 5 so far. And I got told yesterday, actually, that this really doesn't look super Space Valkyria-esque. And I have to agree, it really doesn't. Obviously, being a giant star, you know, that's not really the Space Valkyria you all know and love. But I have an idea to fix that. So something I originally, because I have this in my original design doc, which is this. So this is the original design document. God damn it, what am I messing with? There we are. So as you can tell, you know, kind of zoom out here to get it paired. There we go. So as you can see, this is the original design element that I was going for. 5-pointed star. This blue circle in the middle was originally going to be a much smaller dome, and I made it bigger just because it looked better, in my opinion. And there was going to be a large tract of land that you would have to traverse to get to these towers on the corners. And obviously there are 4 towers right here. So that's what that is. But on the design doc, as you can kind of sort of see, It's hard to tell. There are these purple sort of tips, right? There's a purple sort of tower where these arms meet, okay? This tower is where the arms meet. That's a tower. So that's what these purple dots represent. That's a tower. So there are going to be towers on the tips of the star. And my idea was to just copy paste this tower here. And now I'm like, I could just make a variant of Space Valk 1. Make it something unique. So it's not like a copy of Space Valk 1, but, something different. Something very obviously in the same vein as Space Valkyria 1, but not entirely the same. So something like this, right? That's the base, that's the floor, and then stack that all the way up to the build height. There we go. And so I just make a gigantic Space Valk 1, a newer version, inspired by Space Valkyria 1 style thing, right? And I just make that on the tips, the corners of these 5 stars. And I gotta put on Fulbright. And then I just make a tunnel through this section here. And it leads you directly into the Space Valk 1 inspired towers that will be on the tips. Each one of these corners. So we've got a gigantic tower that's inspired by Space Valkyria 2. We've got a giant Space Valk... Maybe I might even go as far as to do a Space Valkyria 3 style central pillar tower, but on each one of these tips. So we got 2 plus 3 equals 5. And so we got a giant 5-pointed star to represent that. I don't know. Something like that. What's that orange thing? Ah. Okay. So to answer that question, I have to describe to you a Buddhist practice called a Shinto Buddhist practice. Please do not kill me for saying the word Shinto Buddhist, but it is what it is. It's called Kintsugi. Kintsugi is the act of mending a broken piece of pottery with molten gold. You stitch the pottery pieces back together using gold. And that's what this is. It's a Buddhist practice, but it developed in Japan, so it has Shinto roots. And yeah, it's called Kintsugi. So the idea is this giant fuck-off section of star got broken. And so they merged it all back together from the fragments and the fracture with a gigantic smattering of molten gold. And the gold is still molten because we got lava and stuff down here to kind of illustrate that. So it's all molten, and you can kind of see bits of it are congealing, bits of it are more hardened here. Obviously we got light so that it isn't super, it's not super obvious, but yeah, that's the gist of it. That's why the orange stuff is there, basically. The orange thing is a fungal-like alien that's slowly eating it. Don't believe him. Yes, it's an alien that's slowly eating the star away, and it's also slowly eating my brain away. Yes. It told me to tell you that story because it's a liar. And because it's in charge of my body, it's, lying on my behalf. Right? That's nice. Thank you, Tix. I appreciate that. So, what were you doing at Oceans except here on the star's arm end? Huh? Also think people saying it doesn't look like Space Valk mostly because the block palette. Yeah, I know. If this was quartz and blackstone, it would look way more like my earlier stuff. Yeah, but I don't want to use quartz. I'm tired of using quartz. Sorry. I'm of the opinion that I can win you over with the shape of the build once it's done. Also, I am not happy with these shapes, this engraving that I got going on down here. I'm not super satisfied with this. I went out of my way to inscribe all of this stuff onto the top here, and I'm just not feeling it. So I don't know. Is that representative of all the previous Space Valkyries being griefed and put back together? No. But thank you for the idea. I'm going to steal that, creator. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yes, exactly. You get the idea now. You understand my artistic vision. Yes, thank you for that wonderful thought. God. Oh, perfect. I mean, yeah, I'd always thought that way, of course. Yeah, what else? What other ideas could you have meant? What else would it have meant? Yeah, it can't possibly have meant any other option. Yeah, of course. Of course that's what it means. I was saying that you were going to do Space Valk 1 style towers, kind of like what I was doing at Oceans. Yes. That was something I was going to do at Oceans, and I just never finished. I was kind of getting burnt out, and then I really wanted to do Escape the Jack Rooms, and I just didn't want to do stuff outside. Like, you got me. Sometimes I too get burnt out on ideas, and I'm like, damn, that's a really good idea, but... So I just don't end up doing them. Hey, I'm not perfect. I can get burned out too. But I'm not often, like, willing to say, oh yeah, I'm getting burned out. Like, I'll just quietly let it slip. Or I'll just quietly back burner the project, and then maybe I'll come back to it later. Usually it's a while later. But yeah, I do that. Like, and I'll be open and forthwith. I'm burned out on Archon Retia, right now. Like, I'm burned out on that for right at the moment. That's why I'm distracting myself with Space Valk 5. Like, you got me. Hands up. It's all right. I find that distracting myself with another build will eventually make me come back to the older build that I tabled for a while. Put it on the back burner. I'll get to it eventually. And I usually do. I'm usually pretty good about going back to older builds or older things that I want to go back to. Even if I don't want to. I won't say any more, but like sometimes, you know, you get dragged back to things. There we go. I knew I had that fill command in my history somewhere. I'm kind of burnt out of Flight Out, but yeah, prototyping, that's why you're back to beta. Okay. You bounce between projects. Right. That's human, I feel. That's understandable. It's a good way to kind of, if you juggle a project here or you juggle a project there, it might be a good idea to give yourself a break. What's that song that came out like 13, 14 years ago, something like, give yourself a something or another? I think it's give yourself a break. I forget who sings that. I think it's Katy Perry, but I don't remember. It's been way too long. It was pop radio trash for like the longest time. Oh. You know what I'm jonesing to do right now? I want to play White Knuckle. God, I'm getting too much into that game. Good God. The update should be dropping inside the next month. I don't actually even know if they've officially given a time and date. They just said September. So, I mean, that could be any point. The end of September, the beginning, middle, the 3/4 point through September, the 2/3 point through September, the day of my birth in September. I don't know. Wouldn't that be a great birthday present? Happy birthday, Jacktherippa, person we don't know. Here's an update to your favorite game right now. It's almost Friday, yeah. I'm going to be playing it tomorrow, and then I'll be playing it again. I'm not sure if I should, like, wait, or if I should, like, keep trying to push myself to get good, because the update, I feel, is going to kick my ass if I don't. Because I don't know what to expect for the update. The Abyss is going to be interesting. In fact, I'm going to look that up right now. See if anything has come out. No news. Damn. Okay, wow. June. Oh, wow. Okay, so the update that I like just came out back in June. So this update's not even... This update's not even 3 months old. Jesus. Okay. Rogue map. Q3, huh. Doesn't give me a date. Oh well. Could be worse. At least I know that it is coming. Even if Q3 is a little ambiguous. I have such a love-hate relationship with Fast Place. I can't even begin to describe. Making my way downtown, walking past faces plast, and I'm homebound. Placing the blocks right now, really fast. God, that song is a fucking bop. Why is that such a good song? Okay. It's like in the in-between time when I wasn't doing anything for Flat Out 6 stuff nor beta stuff, I played Metroid Fan Game. Yeah. Yeah, I get what you mean. Sometimes a completely different game is called for. You just distract yourself from whatever issues or thoughts you have with a completely different thing. Okay. This is a much smoother looking Taurus, but it also kind of looks a little jagged in places still. I don't know, I guess it's fine. I think it's gonna do. I plan to build this on the server, yes, at some point. Probably not solo, but we'll see. Oh, whoops. All right. Well, I hate to be the bearer of bad news. I'm gonna have to end stream here shortly. I know it's only been maybe an hour. I've got to get... Whoa. I've got to go out and get something. I'm just gonna, keep designing on this. Keep iterating out, all the bullshit on this Taurus, because this Taurus is a nightmare. And then there are 2 more Tauri, I guess that's the right way to put it, that I've got to make. There's this smaller one in the middle, and then there's a even smaller one that I don't know that I'm gonna do much decorating on, though I do need to redo it in terms of structure, because, like, it's not good. But that's fine. That's easily fixed. Yeah, so, like, that's kind of where I'm at right now. That's just a lot of tedium and grunt work, and I don't know. I don't have much else to really say about it. I'm also going to try to clean up all this gold crap that just doesn't really do it for me. Like, why in the fuck did I try to make a little star? Like, that's silly. I don't even know what this is supposed to be. Yeah, like, I think this is supposed to be the anarchy symbol. I think that was a joke or something. I don't know. Point is, like, this ain't doing it for me. I need to find a uniform, real series of glyphs or runes, right? Something actually, uniform that doesn't look like shit from above, because these look awful. Like, I'm not gonna lie, these look awful. These could be a lot better. And yeah, like, that's definitely a thing I need to work on, and then I need to work on spacing them out, because, like, the spacing, I did all this by hand, so I eyeballed it, and it just doesn't look right. Whereas if you look at the hex lattice, it's obviously more or less perfect, because I used an image that I then converted into a map art craft thingamabob. And that works, that's fine. Just that overall, it just isn't quite where I would like it to be. So yeah, I'm going to have to erase these and then figure out a way to uniformly apply glyphs and runes and stuff to this so that it isn't so bad. Because, like, especially in these areas, I can't, I'm going to have to be very, very careful with how I mask things. That's not so bad. But yeah, like, this shit's at a tilt, at an angle. So, like, I would ideally like the runes to be parallel with these lines that I've drawn. But I can't, like, do that freehanding. I'm going to have to do it in, like, Photoshop or GIMP or Paint, and then convert it into a schematic, and then impose it using masking onto this area. And so that means I've got to have the tilt just perfect. It's got to be just right. And that's doable, I think. I'm pretty sure that's an achievable thing. So yeah, I will catch you all tomorrow for Freeform Friday. I'll be playing White Knuckle, as I said. I fucking love White Knuckle, I tell you. Great game, highly recommend it. You all have a great night. See y'all then, and if not, I will be doing more Spacewalk 5 stuff Monday. Monday, as you all know, will be 8 p.m. in the evening. So, be there or be square. Goodbye, everyone. Have a good weekend. Take care.